Well, hi everyone. Well, you see, this is what I do. You know what? I guess I stir the pot for God everywhere I go. You know, it's like I go up to Beacon Rock and I get to meet a bunch of people and they're actually shocked when they meet me about, you know, this D.B. Cooper, Zodiac Killer and everything. You know, there's a book writer now, he's next to my motorhome the other day. He probably went home and started re-examining everything because the fact that I told him everything's right here, and it kind of blew his book right away. That, you know, he's more than welcome to go ahead and use the material, make himself a great book. Maybe he'll come by and buy me dinner, make me dinner, hell, buy a bunch of stuff, and we'll just have dinner together, and hell, I'll cook it, because I like my own cooking to begin with. So, and Taco Bell is out of the question. You know, that's just like me being facetious. It is. You know, and, you know, I like go running around doing things, and the Holy Father likes running around doing things, and, you know, the Holy Father likes a little bit of excitement. You know, I might have to go buy a bowling ball and start going bowling. You know, I was thinking about joining a travel league. That's where, you know, you travel over here and you bowl at this bowling alley this month, and next month you go and bowl over at this bowling alley. I don't think it's every week. I think it's only once a month. So anyway, it's pretty fun actually. You know, once a month you go bowling and you get a bowl this house, you get a bowl that house, you know, and it's just nice. So anyway, and you meet some really good bowlers too, by the way. And probably gives you confidence. And for D.B. Cooper's son to be out on the road doing what he does best, promoting the Holy Father, you know, I mean, what better job is that? Can you beat that job, be able to look at somebody and go, I love you, just keep the shiny side up and you're doing well. I tell you, and I will tell you, you know, when I'm talking like this, I talk very frankly and stuff. You know, when I get frazzled, you know, I explain the world does this. It actually just zips. It's like this wormhole effect. And what happened, you know, around the, around the 13th of December of last year is when this here happened, and this all went, and people looked fantastically better. All these women on Chatterbait, they looked all better. A lot of tattoos was done. A lot of these women, they're just doing fantastically better than ever before. I wonder how, you know, even these people down at the U.S. Bank, you know, I mean, this woman, the radiant one, she was a beautiful woman before. I mean, I just don't think it really changed much with some people because they were just beautiful to begin with, you know. And even up there at Twin Star Credit Union, you know, they seem to change a little bit too. I mean, I noticed some people changed and some people didn't. You know, the radiant one, God Almighty wanted me to focus on her, and I don't know if it was her or the safe, because I tell you what, it was like I would pick a person over money. You know, I mean, it was just like I was put in that situation on Friday the 13th where, you know, I would pick either, you know, people I'd want to save. Would you save this person, you know, like this? And these people, you know, God, what was put to me was something different than anything you could ever experience. I mean, I even played, you know, poker against people's lives. I played this Ruthless. You know, the Jack Benny stuff that went on. All of a sudden I'm directing people here, I'm directing people there, and this was going on. You know, the Holy Father is amazing. And, you know, on the Friday the 13th, I put this motorhome through just fucking hell. I'd already got the brakes fixed and everything because I moved up on Denver Lane anyway, up on that hill. I wanted good brakes and new brakes for that fucking hill. And I guess I goddamn better at it because I put this thing to the fucking test. I mean, when I left Denver Lane that morning on Friday the 13th, you know, take off, go. You know, it was satanic activities that was happening. I got down here, and just as I got to town, that fucking phone rang. The phone that looked just like this, and I threw the other one away. This is the new one that I got after the last one. You know, and I wouldn't answer that phone when I came into town. And by the way, Susan Donahoe told me that she could track people on their cell phones and stuff, and Susan Donahoe had my phone number on that very day. Me and her was talking at that point. I got that Bible from her right there to prove it. You know, I got this Bible from Susan Donahoe. That little bitch, I think she was tracking me using this phone and stuff, and I'll tell you, I questioned her about this after the fact of Friday the 13th. I asked her, I said, so what happened to you last week? She said she was abducted, you know, something like this, and something pretty nutty. But, you know, look what happened with me. I tell you, I came to town, I was told, go, leave now. I got down here. When I got to town, the phone rang right there near the Chevron station on the River Road. And, you know, I seen who it was. I pulled over, I seen who it was. I fucking wouldn't answer the phone. And it finally stopped. And then I continued. I got on the freeway down there by the Steamboat Landing, and I was heading that way, and right there about where Starbucks was, that fucking phone started ringing again, and it was that goddamn Susan Donahoe. And I just fucking get rid of the phone. You know, this is what God was telling me then, get rid of the phone. I ran up there to do the things that God wanted me to do. I did them. I got up there, up by Fisherman's Landing. I got up there to Walmart. I didn't make the eye appointment that I was supposed to make. I made an appointment. I didn't keep it and anything. I've done all these other things. I couldn't believe I was ran like a gauntlet. And then head back to Camas, and I headed back, and I went towards 14, and all of a sudden it was, no, not that way, turn around. And I turned around, and I went back, and I went down by Camas Lake, and I turned left, and I went up to where I go down to my uncle's house on the Blair Road. I got on the Blair Road, I shoot down that road. I went down that road just as fucking fast as I can, and that's a steep hill. You go down around the corner, and right there my Uncle Ted lives. And before that, there was a place right there that I was living there, and it's a little red house that's right there next to my Uncle Ted's, and there's a story about that. But anyway, I just went right past my Uncle Ted's place. I, you know, just glanced over, you know, I know my Uncle Ted's place, I always glance that way. And I just shot down. I got down to the very end, and I just hauled ass on that fucking road. I mean, I hauled ass, and I went down there, I got down onto the River Road, and I just took a left, and I just hauled ass. And I went to the Hughes Road, and I hit that fucking Hughes Road, and when I hit that Hughes Road, I mean, I was hauling fucking ass in this motorhome. And I got up there, I got all the way to the top, I was fucking on the brakes, off the brakes on places, I mean, 10 turns and stuff with this fucking motorhome. I am telling you, nobody had ever drove this fucking motorhome that fast before. I goddamn know it. And not under those conditions of the road. And anyway, I got up there, and I pulled this thing into the driveway. I just shut it fucking off. I already have power in here. I don't even know if I turned on the power to the motorhome. I know I never. I just pulled it in, and fucking, I'm telling you, shit was fucking happening in this motorhome. I'm telling you. I ended up laying right here and physically having a baby. All of these things was going on. Shut up. They were having some spiritual thing happening, and it was happening down that Chinese restaurant down there in campus. I go down there and eat now. You know, down there at the Chinese restaurant. My friend owns it, and her husband, and I know her better than I know him. I only met him once. He is funny. And anyway, things happened. I documented everything. You know, I mean, you want to talk about a born-again Christian? You know what? I always believed in the Holy Father. I've had the Holy Father come over me. You know, me and Kathy, my second wife, when we got married, the Holy Father came over us on this holy fucking power. And I said, did you feel that? She said the same exact words at the same time. Why she went so far the other fucking way, I don't know. She married a preacher, and she hides behind a preacher. Shit, she wouldn't pay her fucking bills. She was a felon. I didn't know it. I goddamn tell you so many fucking stories about that woman. Coming to the house, threatening the child. I won't have one of those things again. John, I could kick your head off now. I took her over to the side of the thing, held her over the side, and said, hey, you're leaving now. I mean, she's threatening the kid. You know, I mean, the other child, they were locking him out of the house. He comes to my house the night before he gets married, dead. You know, Brian, Kyle, and Andy all got killed together in a car wreck on the Brown Road. The Brown cemetery is next to the bowling alley in Morton. The Brown property is next to my sister's house on Delphi Road in Olympia. It sure seems like an inside job. Browns own that. Browns own this. You know, Susan Donahoe tells me that the Browns owns the house at 10077th Street. Susan Donahoe told me enough stuff. Susan Donahoe was threatening me. She was saying, you're worth something to me. I'm a witch and a whore, and you're worth something to me over at 1007th Street. She broke 24 eggs on the floor. She threw them in the garbage. She grabbed the broom. She did this here sweep through the house. She says it's a clean sweep. I'm telling you, I was left to that house. The Camas cops and stuff left me there, and I became a prisoner of that 1007th Street house. And many things happened. And when I finally left this place, Susan Donahoe actually ended up going to jail. She got out, she comes back and does more stuff. And you know what? They evicted us. She had to go to court that day. I'm not going to court. I'm not doing nothing with these fucking people. I'm waiting for a break to get in my car and get the fuck out of here in my Corvette. And I left the check on that table in that house for $2,000 to cover any damage that I could possibly have done mustered up myself. The frame of that bathroom door, I put my shoulder to it, I knocked it in. She was in there screaming she was going to kill herself, she was going to kill herself. Not on my watch, you're not. She said she was going to kill herself outside the house. I broke the little square window right there where the doorknob's been. It's a little bit different than everyone else's on that glass right there. Somebody examines, there's a cut with the bottom that has a little jagged where I put that thing in there. You know, I mean, I know what's what. I mean, and that woman, that Susan, there was a stove on that porch right there on that house, and she had put those fucking my shoes inside of that stove. She insisted that I get black shoes, and I usually always get white shoes, by the way. She insisted, you know, get black shoes, you know, like this. And you know, by the way, Weimar, they just really didn't have white shoes, and I ended up getting a pair of black shoes. And that fucking bitch, during all of this ordeal, that fucking bitch put my shoes inside that stove. And by the way, Matthew Thomas Wright is gone now. You know, and that fucking bitch had everything to do with this whole satanic act and everything. And I goddamn know what happened to me on this fucking bed. I was explained that boy, what was happening to him at that very fucking moment. By Satan, Eve, the Holy Father, and everything. I goddamn know everything. Dead, bang, you fucking never gonna fucking live through something I goddamn lived through unless you're a woman. A woman knows the experience of having a child. Ladies, if the woman was to have the first child, the man was to have a second, there would be a third, but there sure the fuck wouldn't be a fourth because he would not have the balls to fucking do it. And you women are a fucking fighting machine. When you get fucking pissed off, women are fucking ferocious. And I'll tell you another thing. That Susan was telling me, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You're gonna get your fucking face ripped apart, John. Hey, I'm Adam. What was this fucking bitch Susan goddamn thinking? What was these cops thinking at 1007th Street? The Zodiac Killer, it's fucking biblical, B.B. Cooper, JFK, the whole goddamn 9 yards. I'll tell you what, I'm posting this. I tell you what, I've gone through so goddamn much. I had a sheriff outside my motorhome asking me what this was about. I told him all about it. I told him about the Morton Bowling Alley. I told him about Rhonda Reynolds being murdered. After leaving my house, they put a fucking hit on her. Never been solved. No one went to prison over Rhonda Reynolds' murder. But Rick Rife, they framed Rick Rife because I fucking brought evidence against Jerry Elright. Rick Rife is wearing a green shirt. Matthew Thomas Wright's wearing a green shirt. The sheriff was behind it. Don't fucking play with me no goddamn more. You know, this sheriff up here, he never did it. These other sheriffs, they never did it. Bruce Kimsey, you goddamn know you were a fucking part of putting Rick Rife in prison. And Greg Rife was my friend. Oh, they'll go after my fucking friends and send a message to me. And on the Merwin's case, Dennis Hadler, you fucking threatening somebody by fucking tying them to your fucking bumper to your car and fucking pulling them around by their fucking neck resonates to me, Mr. fucking fuckface. And my brother Jerry says he hates the Hadlers. He has a vendetta against the fucking Hadlers. Why does Jerry Wright hate the fucking Hadlers? I goddamn don't know. I would say Dennis Hadler's a fucking cocaine head. Maybe Dennis never paid his fucking cocaine bill. I can only ponder that one because my brother Jerry does fucking deal cocaine. And it is about fucking $700 an ounce, and he fucking makes a fortune off of it. And somebody gets a cut off it on top of it, I'm sure. What the cops get the 700 and he gets a Scott. I don't know what the fuck, but I do know. I bought an ounce of cocaine for $700 an ounce. And then Don Burgess put a fucking hit on me with Little Joe. Janice Sanders says, John, will you protect me? What should I protect you about? She couldn't tell me. This is about D.B. Cooper, the Zodiac, and everything else. And the fucking cocaine going through Lewis County. I don't give a fuck. You know what? I didn't mind doing a little bit of cocaine. Boy, Trina Harris, that was Steve Harris's ex-wife. She came down from Alaska. Beautiful Alaskan woman. Oh my gosh. Me and Trina, we enjoyed a little bit of cocaine and a fun fucking time, and she spent, you know, a night with me, and boy, we had a lot of goddamn fun. Hey, you know what? Why not? It was before I got married, by the way, the first time, and it was like my bachelor party, to be honest with you. It was like my fucking bachelor party. Although, now, I'll be so honest, Dan Dunn and my brother, Jerry, all of a sudden, he's friends with this Dan Dunn. My mother's maiden name's Dunn. Marietta L. Dunn. Jerry L. Dunn. Jerry L. Dunn got murdered. He had rickets. My mother said he needed to die at the end of their life. You know, they'll find reasons why people need to die. You know? It's just the Zodiac way, I guess. Hey, you don't pay your fucking drug bill, you will die. And the, Michael, the law attorney down there in California, Michael that was with the woman at Lake Barrymore, Celia. Now Celia, that's my brother Jerry's first wife's mother's name. And I mean, they seem to like to marry things like that. But I'm telling you, Zodiac right there, everything I've lived through, everything I've ever seen, I've seen supernatural things fucking happen. And all I could say is, wow, did you fucking see that? You know? And I tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The Holy Father used me, I'm here. Satan and Eve's in hell. That's just the way that it is. If I get friction, bad things can happen on the earth. If I get mad and start slamming things, the earth is going to have earthquakes and stuff. You know, I could fucking just want it to fucking rain and fucking storm, and it can rain and fucking storm. I mean, it does go that far, and I goddamn didn't know. And you know what? I always loved good floods and stuff because it brings gold down in the rivers, and so I go gold mining. I am not kidding. Jeez, I mean, I go gold mines, that's what I look forward to. Oh, we need a little floods, you know. Oh boy, do we need a little flood sometimes? I've seen big floods. How about being pissed off and seeing what happened to Walmart? I was so mad that I was saying, I want God's wrath to pour out over there, you know, over towards Walmart, because these son of a bitches are attacking me. The cops was, for what? Going to Wendy's and getting poor food? I got poor goddamn food over there. For what goddamn reason? It triggered events. You know what? Satan and Eve can come into anybody and turn up any fucking thing. I'm just telling you, don't do it. Don't go along with it. And I'll tell you another thing. If someone gets some bright idea to harm somebody because I would want them to be harmed, don't fucking do it. I had Gerald Burke say, John, I'll kill for you if you want me to. I told Gerald Burks, don't you ever fucking kill anybody for me. And that was just over, we pulled into the jackpot station, the same place where I met Eve. And people looked over, Mexicans looked over. I have a fucking sheriff's green fucking Cadillac. Dark windows. Do you think these Mexicans wouldn't look over there at a sheriff's green fucking car? Gerald Works fucking didn't fucking resonate to him, and I said, don't you dare fucking kill people. Somebody looking at towards us. I go, you don't know what the fuck they're looking at, Gerald. I didn't even need to explain it to him. And then I met Eve right there at that jackpot station in 1995, and Eve followed me home. She followed me home on a bike, on her bicycle. She had a bicycle. She said that she had somebody that was in the Lewis County Jail. Her old man was over there. Come over and party at my house for something to do, but I can't touch her. You know, she told me down here at Steamboat Landing, I couldn't touch her down there too. I couldn't touch her. Well, okay, I couldn't touch her. You know what? She did a burlesque show. She was doing ping pong balls out of her pussy. She was standing on her head, took a puff off her fucking cigarette too. And by the way, when I told this guy the same story down here where he's sitting, where I said, there's the rock, I'm the rock right there, and that Una, that was Eve, and she sat right there, and I sat right there. And he says, you've talked to me before, you know, about this. And I said, I meet a lot of people, you guys. And when I described that, he says, I seen that same fucking thing at a bachelor party, and yeah, they can take a puff off that cigarette with their pussy. He says, I've seen this in a bachelor party in Colorado. And I said, you mean to tell me this I'm describing a bachelor party fucking scene? A bachelor party, and I'm supposed to be the bride and the groom and whatever, Anyway, hey, I'm just going to load this up. I'm having a conversation. I'm sitting here watching a fox right here. She's offline, but they got this. They put them on now. You could actually view them. You don't even have to tip to enjoy them. Hey, you wouldn't believe how nice it is to have conversations with 3 or 4 different women from all over the world, and I get to do it night after night. So I'm not bored, you know. It's not like I'm not getting good conversation with women. I love having conversations with women and all these other women that I meet and stuff. I'm not desperate for sex, that's for goddamn sure. I can take care of myself like you women can. I could put on a fucking show for you. I know chatterbait, by the way. I know what's good and what's not good, ladies. And I knew before I ever seen chatterbait. Isn't that something? You know, have you ever seen that show Hair with, who's that man? Warren Beatty. He was in that Hair. And, you know, all he is a beauty salon. He goes from gigolo, 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 gigolo. I'm not quite a gigolo, but I felt like that when I was a kid. You know, younger, I'd just go from one woman to another woman, another woman like this. And, you know, they were all really fucking hot, beautiful women. I was in pretty good shape, too, by the way. You know, I mean. And I thought of myself being that. Then now, you know, with Eve and everything like that, you know, Eve was just a fucking slut. Eve's a fucking slut. She's a fucking whore. She's a witch and a fucking whole lot more. She's Satan's woman. Everything and anything goes. What happened to Adam? You know, I was wondering what was going on with my life all these years, and now I fucking know. I'm Adam in the flesh, and in 4024 I'll be back as Joshua. 10/17/4024. The Holy Father would like the 16th, 17th, and the 18th of the 10th month to be a holiday. Go with seafood, go with clams. I'm going to. It's an individual thing. If you love Joshua, if you love the Holy Father, you'll just do it. I'm putting it out there, and there you go on that one too. I love you. Have a great day. I can touch the red writing in the book now. I can touch inside the book. I couldn't even touch inside the book. I was so fucking cursed. Would you like to be so cursed that you couldn't even fucking do anything? Because that's what will happen to you. I've seen it all, and I tell you, when I've seen it all, I've seen it all. And then when you've seen it all, there's something else that'll come around the corner. And you never say what's next. Because when you start tempting the Holy Father, you'll fucking get it. And I'm telling you that because I'm telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's Joshua inside the book. It's Joshua outside the book. And don't you ever fucking be deceived by this goddamn Jesus bullshit ever fucking again. You can mark it with an X. That's goddamn bad, just like this red Republican fucking party. And you have a nice day. I'm telling you from the heart. And why? Hey, it don't make no difference to me whether you're fucking Republican or Democrat. It's Joshua inside the cup and it's Joshua outside the cup. And don't think that all Republicans, it's a Republican fucking problem. It goes both ways. Talk to you later, bye.